This is the CBS Evening News. Connie Chung reporting. Good evening. The mayor of Charleston, South Carolina, appealed to members of his own community and the rest of the country today to help victims of Hurricane Hugo. There's still no electricity or drinking water in Charleston, and it may be weeks before they are fully restored. Frank Courier has more.
In sanctuaries across Charleston today, prayers of thanksgiving, 3 days after Hugo, a city shell-shocked but grateful. For so many, so much to do, so little time. Where to begin? An estimated 75,000 people are homeless, faced with rebuilding their lives, without any power, clean drinking water, and often not enough food. Scores of motorists lined up behind gas pumps at one filling station that wasn't even open. Basics like ice are in short supply. Chainsaws and generators are often overpriced. Charleston has enacted an emergency law against price gouging.
The first one we find that's price gouging, he will be or she will be arrested on the spot.
Some homeless, kept from their neighborhoods because of downed trees and gas leaks, must settle for second-hand damage estimates.
14, okay.
On the storm-battered barrier islands off the Charleston coast, another day of martial law. Residents are being kept off one island, and tempers are rising.
This is the third day after the storm. Enough's enough. Who are they protecting us from?
If somebody gets here and goes in a building and it collapses and kills them, who's responsible? I am. The buck stops at my desk.
Isle of Palm police are taking the heat for the mayor's decision. The police chief has resigned in protest.
All right. It's not discussion. It's not discussion.
Still, one group in a boat talked its way past police. They were shocked at seeing their houses and what little remains on the island.
This is incredible. I can't believe it.
Outside help arrived today. For the Midwest, heavy equipment, food, and clothing aboard Air Force transports. But it's not enough.
The Red Cross has issued a nationwide plea for much more help. What's needed most in Charleston, financial aid, followed by forklift trucks, recreational vehicles, bottled water, and diapers. For all that is needed here, Hurricane Hugo is now the most expensive storm in Red Cross history. Connie?
Thank you, Frank Courier. Much of Puerto Rico is still without electricity and running water tonight in the wake of Hurricane Hugo. In New York, they responded today for help. A Spanish-language television network sponsored a 12-hour telethon to raise funds. The telethon was carried throughout the country and in Puerto Rico. Secretary of State James Baker and Soviet Foreign Minister Eduard Shevardnadze put aside the weighty issues today and took advantage of their location in Wyoming. Baker predicted their talks will successfully defuse calls for unilateral arms cuts on Capitol Hill. State Department correspondent Bill Plant is in Jackson Hole with more.
They wound up their weekend in the wilderness fishing on the Snake River. The Secretary of State in water over his waist, the Soviet Foreign Minister casting tentatively from the bank. Only the little ones were biting, but that didn't seem to dampen spirits.
I have no license, and I've not caught anything. He has diplomatic immunity.
Both sides today were sending signals of accomplishment.
We have made some really fundamental progress.
We came out of this ministerial very hopeful that on the basis of what we have talked about here, we'll be able to make great progress, especially in arms control and in other areas of our relations too.
The Soviets, pushing for a treaty on strategic nuclear weapons, offered to sign a START treaty without limits on the U.S. Star Wars program, as long as no space weapons are deployed. But the administration's chief policymakers did not exactly rush to embrace quick movement on a treaty.
We're moving in these areas at our own pace and trying to make solid progress, not headlines.
It would be fair to say that we've made some progress here, but we certainly haven't finally resolved these issues.
We want a START agreement, but we don't want one that we can't get ratified.
And ratification is indeed what seems to be the key. The Soviets, for whom such a treaty is priority number one, have systematically moved to eliminate every single major U.S. argument against it. But even so, Secretary Baker plainly doesn't want to move until he thinks that he can outflank conservative opposition in the Senate. Connie?
Bill, what can overcome conservative opposition on arms control?
Well, first of all, Connie, conservatives will probably say that the Soviets have done a very clever move here and have just simply shifted their veto power over an arms control treaty down the road. But there's another fundamental problem, and that is that the debate in the United States over what weapon systems we are willing to pay for. That's been going on now for 15 years, and until it is resolved, it's going to be very difficult to come to final agreement on an arms control treaty.
All right. Thank you. Bill Plant in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Just a moment ago, I spoke with CBS News Moscow reporter Jonathan Sanders, who told us the Soviets are not happy with the timing of the summit planned for next spring or summer.
Connie, the Soviets aren't treating this as any big fireworks. They've been very quiet and downbeat in their coverage. The Soviets wanted more in the way of a summit. They wanted more sooner. They didn't get it, and so they're a little perplexed as to what to do next. Also, they're absolutely preoccupied with what's going on at home. Some parts of the country are in a near state of civil war. There are demonstrations everywhere, and the new Soviet parliament's getting ready to meet, so they're concentrating on home matters.
Jonathan, are you getting this feeling from the Soviets simply through press reports, or have you spoken with Soviet officials?
I spent a good deal of this weekend with high Soviet officials. They were willing to talk about shortcomings in their system, problems in the economy, a threatened civil war in Nagorno-Karabakh. One of the things they weren't talking about was a summit or the meeting in Jackson Hole. They're very concerned with what's going on inside this country. It's like Americans were in the 1960s when we were preoccupied with riots in our cities and the civil rights movement. We weren't thinking of foreign policy, and neither are they.
Thank you. Jonathan Sanders in Moscow. CBS News White House correspondent Wyatt Andrews is at the United Nations now. President Bush will be speaking to the UN General Assembly for the first time as president tomorrow. Wyatt, does the Bush administration realize that the Soviets have such a lukewarm reaction to the summit?
Connie, I think that they read into the Soviet newspapers and the reaction like everyone else does, but I don't think that it concerns them at all. What Gorbachev is playing is a very classic game of expectation politics. In other words, they don't make very much of the summit news now, but you can believe that if Gorbachev, when Gorbachev sets foot at Andrews Air Force Base, if the summit's held in Washington, the Soviets will be covering it wall to wall, and Gorbachev looks great. So it's a game of skillful politics that the administration has come to expect from Mikhail Gorbachev. In fact, Gorbachev has rather skillfully gotten Mr. Bush to agree to this summit. When the Bush administration, at a time when the Bush administration knows that giving Gorbachev does help him domestically, will help him look good as if he's successful in foreign politics, they've come completely around in the last week saying, still playing hard to get, saying that Mr. Bush even almost made fun of holding a summit at one point saying, well, I don't want to get together with him just to sign fishing agreements. Now, all of a sudden, without a clear treaty in sight, they are holding this summit. So I don't think that they expect anything other from Gorbachev.
And Wyatt, what can we expect from the president's UN speech tomorrow?
Connie, look for two things. The White House has promised a headline on chemical weapons. Mr. Bush will have some proposal, they say, on a global ban on chemical weapons. Also, a meeting with Israel's labor leader, Shimon Peres, at a time when a new peace plan from Egypt is on the table. Connie.
Thank you, Wyatt Andrews. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the battle over capital gains on Capitol Hill. And later, how the people of one small South Carolina town survived Hurricane Hugo.
I told myself I'd live without the villas, or the blue of the sea, or the sun on his arms. Then why was I so glad when he appeared, and we were back in our old cafe, where the coffee tasted rich beyond compare.
Discover decaffeinated rich French roast from Maxwell House. Rich French roast coffee. We can't give you France, but we'll give you the flavor.
Feel your oats with Post Oat Flakes.
Feel your oats with Post Oat Flakes. Golden toasted flakes with whole grain oat nutrition and a crunchy oat taste. Feel your oats with Post Oat Flakes.
How's Mama doing? She okay?
It's already happening. People calling long distance with one free month of U.S. Sprint. To get your free month, call Sprint now. This is one offer that seems to be catching on. Thousands of years ago, the world was introduced to a vehicle that could hold plenty of cargo and travel in some of the worst weather. This year, history repeats itself. The new four-wheel drive Subaru Legacy wagon. After thousands of years, man still can't improve the weather. only the way he travels through it.
See your Subaru dealer for details on the special value lease program.
In Texas today, federal investigators reenacted the truck and school bus collision that killed 20 children last week. They got some clues about the speed of the vehicles, but they still don't know whether the bus wound up in a water-filled pit as a result of the collision or evasive action. A big battle is shaping up in Congress this week over the president's proposed cut in the tax rate for capital gains, and the Democrats have a lot riding on the outcome. Eric Engberg reports on capital gains and political losses.
When the House votes this week on whether to cut capital gains taxes, more than money will be on the line. The Democratic Party's new leadership team, criticized for giving President Bush too long a honeymoon, has proclaimed the tax issue as the one where Democrats can show that they are for the little guy.
The Bush plan, on the other hand, is designed to keep Leona Helmsley's dream alive, that only little people pay taxes.
Critics have been saying the first order of business for the party is to show that it's awake.
When I go around the country and talk to Democratic leaders, both party leaders and elected officials, they say to me, when are you guys going to take the gloves off?
The calls to end the honeymoon have gotten more insistent as the Democrats see the potential for losing congressional seats next year.
I think that now we have given an appropriate period of deference to the newly victorious president. I think it is time now for a new approach.
The approach chosen by the party's new leadership: carefully pick some fights with the White House. On drugs, claim the president is spending too little. On education, stage a preemptive photo opportunity at a high school before the president's education summit. On foreign affairs, claim Mr. Bush has lacked vision in dealing with Gorbachev and the revolutionary changes taking place in Eastern Europe. This strategy is far from being surefire.
The problem is whenever Democrats come up with a better idea or different idea, it's invariably a more expensive idea. And therefore the president can say, well, there go the Democrats again, talking about more spending and more taxes.
And that problem for the Democrats is highlighted by the coming vote on capital gains tax reduction. The leadership may not be able to hold enough Democratic votes in line to win the showdown they have staged. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
President Bush, the self-proclaimed education president, hosts his education summit this week for the nation's governors. The president says he's concerned that taxpayers are not getting their money's worth from the public education system. One program that is working in several states is aimed at giving children a head start on their education at home.
Ready? We'll put your left foot in, you take your left foot out.
When Beverly Sheard entered kindergarten this year, she already had a leg up on learning.
Can you make a rectangle?
That's because for the past year, her mother has been spending 20 minutes a day teaching her to count, recognize shapes, and name colors.
Which one of these pictures over here matches this one?
It's called Hippie, a home instruction program designed to help low-income and educationally disadvantaged families in Arkansas get a better start in school.
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, the results are absolutely indisputable. The children's learning capacity goes way up. Their readiness to start kindergarten is dramatically higher.
Part of the success of the program is due to the hands-on grassroots efforts of people like Loistine Burrell.
I'm from the Helena West Helena School District, and I'm looking for 4-year-old children.
The parent is the child's first teacher.
Which hand is bigger?
And results show parents make good teachers, too. Hippie children in one school district jumped more than 2.5 years in education level. But the real surprise has been what the Hippie program has done for parents.
Remember, you stay in line.
Hippie makes these mothers understand they can actually teach their children. They can be positive role models as mothers.
And improve their own skills as well.
Which one has a few flowers?
Parents' reading skills have increased a remarkable 69%. And after a year of working with Hippie, more than half the mothers have gone on to finish school or have found jobs.
If the children get the foundation and the parent work along with them, it's going to motivate the whole family to do something.
What's more, the Hippie program costs less than 25% of traditional preschool programs.
It's in everybody's self-interest to make these early investments. It'll save a ton of tax money, it'll make America more productive, and you'll have millions of happy people out there who would otherwise be thwarted, frustrated, and unproductive.
What can't be measured, though, is how Hippie has drawn Glenda Sheard and her children closer together.
When they come home from school, you know, I ask them, how was your day today? You know, and then, Mama, how was your day? You know, we just share, you know,
with each other. It's fine.
One more note about education. Public school teachers throughout Utah plan to play hooky tomorrow. It's a one-day protest designed to pressure state legislators to give education a share of a $55 million budget surplus.
Think I'm fit? You don't know the half of it.
Mike Garfield for Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
It takes a lot of training to get fit on the outside. But there's another Mike Garfield inside. And to help keep our inside as fit as our outside, we eat only one kind of Bran Flakes. Kellogg's Bran Flakes. It's got plenty of that bran everyone's eating today. Helps you stay fit on the inside. And it tastes good.
Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
Helps keep the inside as fit as the outside.
When summer wear needs special care, trust Woolite in your machine. From sunning wear to stunning wear, whatever clothes need special care, trust in your machine.
I just did something incredible. 5 minutes ago, I had gray hair, but now I don't. And this is what did it. New Option Instant from Clairol. The advanced way to get rid of the gray. New Option Instant for men is different. There's no messy mixing. It's so easy. Just press, apply, and only 5 minutes later, your natural-looking color's back. Hair even feels thicker. So why look like this?
When you can look like this.
New Option Instant from Clairol. The advanced way to get rid of the gray.
Not this much. Not this much. Just this much. New Advanced Formula Kaopectate works fast to relieve diarrhea and cramps. And it tastes better, too. New Advanced Formula Kaopectate. More than ever, the diarrhea specialist.
Colombia's 4,600 judges threatened today to go on strike unless they get better protection against drug terrorists. Some 50 judges have been killed in the last 8 years, most of them in apparently drug-related incidents. Monica de Graaf, who resigned as Colombia's justice minister because of the drug war dangers, arrived in Miami today. Her husband and child are staying at an undisclosed residence there. De Graaf was the 8th justice minister to quit in the past 3 years. Israel struggled today with its second government crisis in 3 months. This time it's over Egypt's proposal for peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. More on the flap this is causing in Israel from Betsy Aaron.
There he was on Israeli television this week, Egypt's President Hosni Mubarak pressuring Israelis over the heads of their government to push his peace plan. And what's more, the PLO's Yasser Arafat talked to Israelis, saying he wants to negotiate with them.
No preconditions, to be fair. Not your conditions, not my conditions, no preconditions.
And then there was Mubarak's meeting with Defense Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Rabin accepting Mubarak's proposal.
It's important that Israel will not appear as a country that hesitates to take risks, and I stress, risk also for peace.
As Rabin tripped across the pyramids, Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir was not amused. He's threatening to dissolve the Likud-Labor coalition if Labor refuses to get in line. What is totally unacceptable in the Egyptian plan to Shamir and the Likud is the notion of trading territory for peace, along with the notion of allowing the PLO to name the participants in the negotiations.
Eventually, Mr. Shamir will have to come to terms with the fact that he will negotiate with Palestinians, whoever they are.
In the West Bank and Gaza, it's been business as usual. So far this month, 19 Palestinians have died, 6 of them under the age of 15. Betsy Aaron, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Beirut reopened both its airport and seaport today, 6 months after they were closed because of fierce fighting. The reopenings came in the wake of acceptance of an Arab peace plan by Christian leader Michel Aoun. Syria agreed to the plan earlier.
Did you know that certain kinds of diet frozen foods get 40, even 50% of their calories from fat? Fat! Eat smarter. The one you can trust is Le Menu Lifestyle. Every serving is under 300 calories, helps you limit sodium, cholesterol, and is low fat. The only thing we didn't touch is the taste. Le Menu Lifestyle. Eat smarter.
There's an enemy in your car's engine, friction. That's why you need the special quality of Pennzoil motor oil. Pennzoil exceeds the API's highest standards for maximum protection. Conquer the enemy friction with the world-class protection of Pennzoil.
If I don't get some Z's, I'll be a basket case tomorrow.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
Nitol safely helps you fall asleep fast.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
Excuse me, ever try this coffee?
Oh, no. I use special gourmet beans.
So do we.
Ah, I roast them to perfection.
So do we.
I brew fresh, rich coffee.
So do we, but then we freeze dry to lock in superior fresh brewed flavor and aroma until you release it.
Perfect. Who are you?
We're the only ones who do all this. We're Taster's Choice, the choice for taste.
Cambodia's prime minister warned today that bloodshed is inevitable after Vietnam's forces leave his country this week. But he said a full-scale civil war can be avoided if other nations stop arming the guerrillas there, including the Khmer Rouge. Bob Simon reports from Cambodia.
The Soviet T-54 tank crept past the tree line, paused, and blasted away as a thin green line of camouflaged infantrymen waded through the paddy to pursue the assault. There were no casualties because there was no enemy. It was a spectacle, a show designed to impress the legions of journalists who are here this week. Hollywood had come to Cambodia. The theme of the movie, the Cambodian army is strong. Therefore, the Cambodian government will survive. But the reality of this long, slow war was just a few miles away. A provincial hospital filled with casualties, amputees mainly, victims of mines laid by the Khmer Rouge. Villagers in many parts speak of how the guerrillas come at night, take food and plant mines, just the way the Vietnamese did in their war against the Americans. But today it was the Vietnamese who were withdrawing from a war they couldn't win. There was martial music, comradely embraces, and garlands of flowers as gentle Buddhist bows were met by the smiles and salutes of the tough old boys from Hanoi. Some of these officers had fought the French at Dien Bien Phu, the Americans at Khe Sanh, and insist they performed a service by coming to Cambodia. 10 years ago, while Washington and the other Western powers did nothing, the Vietnamese army stopped the slaughter in Cambodia and kicked the Khmer Rouge out of town. Cambodians say they're still grateful for that, but that the occupation has lasted long enough. It's time that the Vietnamese went home. And there they were, those legendary pith helmets, a wonderful sight to behold when they're heading the other way. The only problem was the political settlement, which was supposed to be in place by now, had slipped away. The great powers met in Paris last month to hammer it out, but they couldn't pull it off. Moscow and the Vietnamese refused to let the Khmer Rouge into any coalition. China and Prince Sihanouk, the erstwhile God King of Cambodia, refused to abandon the Khmer Rouge, and the United States refused to abandon Sihanouk, which left the Cambodian factions to fight it out amongst themselves, which is what they're already doing. The Vietnamese withdrawal is proceeding like clockwork. Cambodia's civil war is also expected to go ahead as planned. Bob Simon, CBS News, Phnom Penh.
Subaru apologizes to the residents of Casa Grande, Arizona, for driving the new Subaru Legacy 60,000 miles in 19 days for a new world record. If you're listening, Casa Grande, thank you.
The delicious crunch of Cracklin' Oat Bran has gotten you in trouble again. How do you defend yourself?
Did you eat all the Cracklin' Oat Bran?
I don't have to answer that.
Did you eat all the Cracklin' Oat Bran?
Well, you're the one holding the box.
Did you eat all the Cracklin' Oat Bran?
What Cracklin' Oat Bran?
With the irresistibly sweet taste of Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat Bran, an open box is an empty box.
Dentists warn the #1 dental problem isn't cavities, it isn't tartar, it's plaque. And most people just don't brush well enough to get enough plaque off their teeth. That's why there's Plaques, the dental rinse specifically designed to remove plaque.
Dear Maalox, my daughter's dates give me Maalox moments.
Hey!
Last night was a real doozy. What a Maalox moment. My stomach did flip-flops. Good thing Extra Strength Maalox Plus is so strong. My doctor recommended it, and it's the strongest antacid I can buy. With teenagers, Maalox is a must.
Nice house. Nice earring.
Write us about your Maalox moments. Extra Strength Maalox Plus. Strong relief for all your Maalox moments.
And finally tonight, amid the stories of terrible devastation caused by Hurricane Hugo, there's a story of incredible survival in a small town that was almost wiped off the map. The story is told tonight by CBS News reporter Scott Pelley.
If any town came close to losing everything, it was McClellanville, South Carolina.
Well, all the businesses are gone. Shrimp boats everywhere. I don't know what people are going to do. I really don't. We just need a lot of help.
The town's economy is aground. Century-old homes are crushed. Even City Hall is gone. But in McClellanville today, the talk of the town was not only of the damage, but also stories of survival.
As the storm came ashore at McClellanville, several hundred area residents sought shelter here at the high school. But quickly, they found themselves trapped in rapidly rising seawater and fighting for their lives.
And when the water got about here, that's when I went up here. I had 1 feet up
Football coach Melvin Powell was in the cafeteria with about 300 others.
They were screaming, crying, calling for God. Only thing you can hear was, God, help me.
As the water continued to rise, desperate parents placed their children in the ceiling.
Just set them wrong in the ceiling. And while they were up there, we were begging the kids to please sit still, no more they move.
Principal Jennings Austin was on the roof.
It ran through my mind that there's several hundred people down here drowning. The water got up to here to the adults, and they were on tables. It looks like it just got high enough, and then it went down. If it had gone any, with a foot, that would have made the difference.
Everyone survived. Today, only a few think of leaving McClellanville. Fishermen talk about going back to sea. Larry McClellan will live on his wrecked boat until he can rebuild a home.
You know, when you're born somewhere and your parents were born there and right on back, you don't move, you know. You may have to go find work somewhere else, but we won't move.
It's still in one piece, Lisa.
Even in the wreckage of McClellanville, residents find many of the most important things are still here. Gail McClellan Fuller is a member of the founding family which received its land grant from King George. Now she searches for unbroken pieces of her heritage. The family home is only a vanishing watercolor.
I think with a lot of work and maybe some government funding and help, that it will one day be restored to something like it used to be.
Even after the hurricane, the residents of McClellanville find their roots are still firm in a town committed to its history and to a way of life. Scott Pelley, CBS News, McClellanville, South Carolina.
And that's our news. Dan Rather will be here tomorrow night, and be sure to join Bill Plant and Richard Schlesinger later tonight on the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you again on our new program next Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Thank you for joining us and for all of us at CBS News. Good night.
This is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Corinne Russell. Coming up on News Channel 5, after hours of deliberations, a hung jury decides against the electric chair for convicted killer William Scott Day.
I'm Craig Owensby. Some local doctors charge that Metro government is playing politics with health. More on that tonight on News Channel 5.
And a taste of history glides into Middle Tennessee. Plus, Old Man Winter pays an early visit to our area. News Channel 5 is next.
Could have gone to the ball game.